Alright, so I know I haven't talked about the news as much, but there is some stuff that we do need to talk about. And I'm just going to say this to start off. Alright, this guy right here is the reason why we're dealing with most of the crime that we're dealing with mostly in the Bronx. Now, this story in Brooklyn is so complex, so devastating, so heartbreaking that we're going to talk about it, right? But the title of the video I'm saying today is Mamdanis crime landscape 2 months into being mayor. So that's what we're going to title it. Because this is primarily his fault why he enables this crime, and so does our governor in a sense. Now, okay, I do have to talk about Hochul, and I do want to talk about Blakeman because there is a double standard going on around here. All right? So let's start off with this awful story. Now, it's been getting a lot of attention since Wednesday, and it's now Friday, April 3rd. So, awful story. A 7-month-old baby girl accidentally wounded by a bullet in her baby stroller in East Williamsburg, Brooklyn. So, let's get into the details. All right? So, we have a suspect who fired the gun. His name is Amori Green. All right, Amori Green. So let me zoom in so you can at least read the font. I know it can be difficult if you're on a tablet or a phone. So according to this, there's no prior criminal history in New York. All right, well, that's an interesting development. So apparently the moped got involved in an accident. Now, this is so heartbreaking. I mean, this is the 7-month-old baby that was shot and killed. And apparently the gunman was a gang member. The father was a gang member, right? And you think Mamdani would have cracked down on crime. This is his responsibility. No, he's not cracking down on crime. Again, we are now 2-3 months, him being the mayor. And this is one of the factors that could lead to Bruce Blakeman becoming governor. I'm not saying it's definite. I mean, maybe the governor's race could be a lot closer than we think, because there was one poll that came out that suggested that he might be closing the gap. But in terms of where this happened in East Williamsburg, let's get back to the topic at hand. Humboldt and Moore Street. And again, this is East Williamsburg. This is not the East Village. I mean, come on, AM New York. Just do better. So this happened Wednesday afternoon, April 1st, 1:20. Karori Patterson Moore. So this was the 7-month-old baby. She was on a walk. So we do know that there is a second suspect, right? And I'm going to show you the second suspect, right? We do have a second suspect, so we'll look for that in just a second here. So I did repost it. Now, if you follow me on X at Andy's Randomness, I'm going to show you who the police are looking for. Supposedly, they are looking for the guy that was driving the moped, not the gunman. The gunman here, he's in custody. He's supposed to be at the courthouse on Tillery Street later today, assuming, because I know Brooklyn very well, and that's where the courthouse is. So, you know, there's an old saying the mafia says in New York, the Italian Gambinos, never rat on your friends. Keep your mouth shut. Well, in this situation, you can't. Because the whole city is looking for this guy. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people out for Easter this weekend. You know, if you see something, don't be a silent duck. There's a $5,000 reward being offered. So I'm going to leave the Crime Stoppers number right here. So screenshot it. This is your chance to do it. Pause the video. Take a look. This is who you're looking for. You know something. again, do the right thing. Again, it's a $5,000 reward being offered by Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch herself. So, do the right thing. Call the Crime Stoppers. This is the phone number. Because we get this guy off the street, things will be a lot safer. Maybe the family will get some closure. But I want to talk about the double standard that's being sent out from this story. And I want to get into the fact that Governor Hochul did issue a statement on the situation. So we will find it in just a second. So, yesterday morning, because I was so disgusted about the story myself, and I, wanted to talk about this. I called out Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, the Republican candidate who is set to face off against the Democrat incumbent Governor Kathy Hochul in the November election. So, the governor Wednesday night issues a statement saying, "This is a pain no parent should ever have to endure. Another horrific reminder of why we are redoubling our efforts to combat gun violence." All right, this is the same rhetoric that's being done in Chicago for many years. I don't need to get into that, but think about the double standard that's going on here. I want to show you Bruce Blakeman's account on X and why there's a double standard. First of all, this sign right here proves that he's in it with the South Shore like Pine Power LI does. Now, the only reason why I want him to win is because of the congestion pricing. And I'm only looking out for the little guy, all right? So maybe Bruce is looking out for the little guy in terms of that. And look how this is what blowhards do. Now, what would I rather have? Would I rather have the evil Kathy Hochul, where this nonsense is going to continue? Or maybe things will get a little bit better. I'm not saying they're going to be perfect. I'm not saying they're going to be, this and that. I mean, you hear about crime all the time in Florida, too. Ron DeSantis is a law and order guy. And, maybe Byron Daniel will keep it up in Florida, but, I'm just wondering. The hypocrisy that is Bruce Blakeman going on his social media pages. I won with 111,000 more registered Democrats than Republicans. Bruce, you do realize that, again, there's a family grieving in Brooklyn right now. Gang violence. You're supposed to be talking about this. Okay, I get it. People are trying to fundraise. You're upset with your matching funds. This and that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm mad with Kathy Hochul. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing about it on his page on X. And if you go on his Facebook, right now. Reload the Facebook page. Look who's on the Facebook page. His best friends. There's Commissioner Pat Ryder for Nassau County Police Department. And again, I respect the NCPD. I stand with them. There's this other friend, Mazi Melissa Phillip, right, who ran for Congress against Tom Suozzi about 2 years ago. So there you go. I mean, look at this. Balanced budgets, this and that. I mean, cut the crap out, Bruce. I'm sorry. I'm so disgusted that he's not talking about this, but yet our governor is. But again, what would I rather have? Would I rather have a blowhard, or would I rather have a wicked witch? I don't know. I mean, the blowhard maybe might end congestion pricing. Now, I am glad he did this. He did recognize Neurodiversity Month, because again, I'm autistic myself. But, look, I'm just disgusted with the hypocrisy that is our state right now. So I digress. there was a fire in Brooklyn, 15 people displaced. That happened yesterday morning, 5 a.m., 42 Lot Avenue. The good news is the media did cover it. They did cover it. I just want to talk about some double standards going on with the media. Again, this awful fire in Flushing that did get a lot of attention. There was a 3-alarm fire that was in Flushing a couple of weeks ago, back on March 16th. It was a homicide. Awful fire. So that got a lot of media attention as well a couple of weeks ago. But, and again, this is the media hypocrisy that we'll get into later on. This got wide coverage too in Howard Beach. So yes, I want to get into a couple of stories that have been getting ignored here in Queens. And I don't know if the media is overwhelmed. I don't know if it has a lot to do with the war in Iran. I don't know if it has a lot to do with the government shutdown and the TSA workers not getting paid. But I have for you today 5 other stories that are going on here. And this is Mamdanis' crime landscape. Again, this is Zohran Mamdani allowing this to happen. This is the inexperienced babyface mayor who makes a cringy video with Curtis Lewa, who auto-tunes and sings things, right? Oh my God. Let's just get right to the point at hand. So, there was a robbery at a nail salon in Flushing that occurred back on March 22nd. The trio was caught on camera gaining entry to the shop at 141-43 Northern Boulevard just after 1 a.m. on Sunday, March 22nd. One of the suspects placed a potted plant against the door so they would not get locked in. As they approached the victims, the third suspect could be seen pulling out a knife. So these nail salon workers, what were they doing at 1 o'clock in the morning? Third suspect was taking out a knife. They approached a 50-year-old female and a 41-year-old co-worker. The knife-wielding robber threatened them at knife point. The 2 other perpetrators removed approximately $1,200 in cash and a security camera. So they ran down to Northern Boulevard, fled the foot on scene in an unknown direction. 2 women were not injured during the heist. So let me give you a description here and we'll play the video. So according to the 109 precinct, this is what they're saying. One wore a black jacket over a black hooded sweatshirt, black pants, and black sneakers. Second suspect wore a black jacket over a black hoodie with gray sweatpants and black sneakers. The third man, who was brandishing the knife, gray hooded sweatshirt, black t-shirt, black sweatpants, and white sneakers. So there's a $3,500 reward being offered. So here we go. So again, this is the news that gets ignored here in Queens. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, they definitely have a good look at these guys. So, third guy in the hoodie might have been the lookout. And look, there's the knife. Alright, next up in Douglaston. Hate Crimes Task Force is investigating aggravated harassment by an intruder at St. Anastasia Roman Catholic Church in Douglaston. This occurred back on March 14th. The 111 precinct in Bayside reported on that morning an unidentified individual entered St. Anastasia, March 14th. St. Anastasia Roman Catholic Church at 45-50 245th Street, sometime between the hours of 12:30 to 1 p.m. The church was empty, and he sat at a small table in the sanctuary known as the Credence Table and ate his lunch, according to the Diocese of Brooklyn, which includes the Queen's churches. While the intruder finished his lunch, he rearranged the furniture and moved 2 large candlesticks in the processional cross. He also lit and moved the Paschal candle, moved some books, and removed the microphone from the altar. The suspect walked up to a baptismal font and poured an energy drink into the basin, which was empty at the time. There was no holy water in the baptismal font. The suspect proceeded to remove an undetermined amount of cash from the donation box, swipe the cloth from the altar. The diocese confirmed he took the small purple cloth from the altar, but after reviewing video footage of the incident from an interior security camera, there was no indication of tampering with the donation box. The intruder then fled on foot in an unknown direction. No injuries are reported. So, just wanted to bring that up. So, they're looking for him. So, he had a light complexion, black mustache, black hooded winter jacket over a gray hooded sweatshirt, cobalt blue ski cap, dark pants, gray and black sneakers, and a booking. So, wanted to bring that up. Through March 29th, the 111 precinct has reported 4 hate crimes so far in 2026, 2 more than the reported at the same time last year. So again, this is Zohran Mamdanis at work for you. Let me just get the address. I want to look up where this is. I'm curious. I think I know exactly where this is. Let's Google it. Yep. I had a feeling. I knew exactly where this was because I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't there a Catholic school right near there? Because I'm like, this is Northern Boulevard, right on top of the CVS in Douglaston. Right. I knew where this was. I had a feeling. I knew where this was. I was like, wait a minute. I should know where this is. My goodness. So anyhow, move on to our next story. We'll zap these tabs as we go along. So we had a couple of, let's see, how many incidents were there in transit? All right, only one incident. All right, so we had a assault in transit on the E line. This occurred on March 31st. 3 suspects allegedly assaulted and robbed a rider on the E train. Tuesday, March 31st. The 37-year-old victim was on a World Trade Center bound E train at 3 a.m. when he was approached by 3 strangers who punched him multiple times in his body before they forcibly removed his headphones. As the train entered the Grand Avenue Newton subway station, the victim and his assailants spilled out onto the platform when the man tried to get his headphones back. The trio attacked him again, punching and kicking him repeatedly before boarding another World Trade Center bound E train to parts unknown. The victim sustained minor injuries, treated by EMS. Headphones were approximately worth $140. So we do have a description of the suspects, $3,500 reward offered. So we have dark complexions of the suspects. 1 woman, long red dyed hair, wore a black and white head scarf. The second woman has long black hair and wore a black sweatshirt. The third suspect, whose gender has not been determined, short black locks and wore a dark green hooded sweatshirt and a black backpack. So, again, you know something, say something. All right, so I don't want to get into specific stuff, but anyhow. And then this happened. 2 suspects remain at large weeks after a assault, Jamaica Avenue in Richmond Hill. So this happened on March 18th. 25-year-old victim was in front of 104-31 Jamaica Avenue at 7 p.m. He was approached from behind by 2 strangers who made verbal threats and proceeded to punch him repeatedly in the gut before forcibly removing his jacket. The victim's wallet was in the stolen jacket, and it combined $550 in cash and credit cards. The perpetrators ran off on foot, traveling westbound in Jamaica Avenue and into the 104th Street subway station on the J line. The victim sustained minor injuries but did not require hospitalization and was treated at the scene. He had later discovered that unauthorized charges have been attempted on his bank account. Alright, so I don't have to get into the monetary value. Alright. So we do have confirmed surveillance pictures from a nearby bodega. One wore a black hooded winter jacket and a black ski mask with dark complexions. The accomplice wore a black jacket over a gray hooded sweatshirt and a black baseball cap. So it appears from the surveillance images, and given that it was tracked down on the credit card itself, the name of the bodega was tracked down within the nearby area, and the suspects were caught red-handed on camera. So if anybody knows these two guys that walked into the nearby bodega, you know what to do. But here's what they look like if you were in the bodega on the evening of March 18th. Seriously, it's not a convenience store. We're in New York. We call them bodegas. My goodness. Anyhow. And we got one more. Woman wanted for assaulting an elderly woman she picked a fight with on Archer Avenue in Jamaica back in March. So, this happened on March 4th. The victim was in front of the crossing at Jamaica Center Residential Complex at 147-40 Archer Avenue just after 5 p.m. on Wednesday, March 4th. A stranger approached her and started to argue with the older woman. An altercation ensued and the suspect slapped the senior in her face before running off northbound on Sutphin Boulevard towards Jamaica Avenue. The victim sustained minor facial injuries but did not require hospitalization and was treated at the scene. So, according to the Crime Stoppers unit, she was spotted in a nearby McDonald's. So I could tell this is McDonald's. It has to be for the kiosk. The suspect was seen in a nearby McDonald's on a surveillance image of the suspect and described her as having a dark complexion with black shoulder-length hair, medium build, last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt with white design. So again, if you were in the McDonald's nearby on that evening, you recognize her. Again, this is what she looks like. So again, these are the stories that are getting ignored in Queens. Again, we're just forgotten about. It's disgraceful. Now let's get into the Bronx. So I'm going to wrap it up talking about the Bronx. So, within hours last night, there were 2 shootings. 2 homicides. And we know about how things have been bad in the Bronx with shootings, including, by the way, a man that was shot on the platform a couple of months ago on the BD line. And I talked to the MTA about that one, by the way. But last night, 9:25 p.m. April 2nd, 22-year-old man was gunned down outside of a bodega near Bronxwood Avenue and East 217th Street in the Williamsbridge section. I don't have to get into the other stuff here. And then there was another shooting. River Park Towers, 30 Richmond Plaza in the Morris Heights section. So, very unfortunate disputes. Now, this is what they talk about in terms of overall crime in the Bronx. Now, if you want to talk about felony assault, burglary, robbery, that category, according to the Crime Stats unit, 9.4% down for 2026. Unfortunately, shootings in the Bronx are up. Homicide, unfortunately, is up. 21 homicides, 3 more than reported this time last year, with 18. 16.7% increase. 51 shooting incidents, 61 victims, up from 45 shooting incidents. So I don't have to get into the specific precincts. So the only good thing is, 54 homicides between January to March. So it says 6 less homicides in New York City than this time last year. Now, supposedly, Commissioner Tisch announced that there will be Patrol Borough Bronx. So I don't know if that will help. So we'll see what happens. But it should alarm you that just hours apart, there were 2 shootings in the Bronx. So I want to see if News 12 The Bronx has something. So let's just look up News 12 The Bronx and see if it's on their homepage. Let's see if News 12 The Bronx actually covered it. Go on their homepage right now. Just to see if they did mention it. Alright, so one of the shootings did make the homepage. So there you go. So there was 2 videos on News 12 The Bronx's website. So let's just see if I can get it up for you here. Oh, so they actually spent 2 minutes on this one.
Exclusive new details after a man is dead after he was shot outside of a deli in Williamsbridge, and the killer is still on the run. Thank you for joining us here on News 12 The Bronx, where local matters. I'm Marcy Jones. News 12's Lindsay Tanney has the exclusive video of the moments that led up to that.
Find this deli on the whole thing caught.
Oh my God, it's not a deli, it's a bodega.
In this video, you'll only see on News 12 a man in a black puffer jacket pulls up to a deli on a scooter and appears to walk inside. A minute later, this angle shows 2 people fighting. That man gets punched in the face by someone in a hoodie. Another minute later, the 2 people are arguing. The guy in the puffer jacket pushes the guy in the hoodie. Then the guy in the hoodie chases him out. But when he turns around, he's shot in the head and falls to the ground. That man in the puffer jacket then runs back into the deli, then hops on his scooter and takes off, leaving who appears to be 22-year-old Ricardo Bygrave for dead. Cops showed up to the scene and rushed Bygrave to Jacoby Hospital. Sadly, he did not make it. We spoke with someone who lives in the neighborhood. He says this weed truck parked outside the deli brings violent people to the area, and it's sad to see young people die on the streets.
Weed, it just brings a bad crowd. The crowd that comes with the weed is not good.
I mean, could the marijuana have been an issue? Who knows? Seems like this is 1986 all over again. Anyhow, I digress. We're having an issue trying to load the other video from News 12 The Bronx, so I'm going to figure out why I'm not able to load this video at the moment.
Gun violence
Here we
in
go.
our borough. This time in Morris Heights, police say a 21-year-old man was shot and killed at the River Park Towers. Citizen app videos showing first responders on scene. We're told 21-year-old Justin Chatfield was found at 30 Richmond Plaza with a gunshot wound just before 10:30 last night. He died at the hospital, and a person of interest is in police custody.
Right, so in that one, they did find someone, but they're looking for the gunman in the other one. So there you go. I mean, this is Mamdanis' work. Hey, look at this. Look at this. This is democratic socialism. This is democratic socialism. Bernie Sanders, Zohran Mamdani, they all support this. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they all support this. They all support this violence. Now, again, would I have given Andrew Cuomo the benefit of the doubt if he had won? Of course. But I digress on that. This is why we have to really take this election seriously. I mean, again, it's either blowhard Blakeman or status quo Hochul. I'm going to show you what's at stake in November. This is what's at stake in November. Yeah, I'm going to give you your options in November. This is what you have to vote for to wrap this up. All right? All right? Show you. I don't know why I can't get their picture. I'll find it. I'll show you. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is who you have a choice to vote for. This is who you have to vote for in November. The guy on the left, who again, supposedly has a bigger ego than Donald Trump has. Which, I don't know, maybe things might improve a little bit if we have him. Or we continue with 4 more years of the crime getting out of hand, status quo Hochul and her ego. This is who we have to vote for in November. It's either one egomaniac or the other egomaniac. And I'm scared what's going to happen in November. Either one egomaniac wins or the other one wins. I know I don't want to have to call them egomaniacs, but that's who we have in New York. This isn't the New York that you grew up in with George Pataki and Rudy Giuliani. This isn't the New York that you grew up with Mike Bloomberg. Or think about this, at least Andrew Cuomo had an ego, but at least it wasn't as bad as what we're dealing with right now. So anyhow, I'm done. I'm done talking. I've had enough of this today. And again, say it again. You know who we have to blame for this mess right now. Come on. Come on. You know who we have to blame for this mess that we're in right now. This guy. This guy. Thank you, Zohran, for making us feel unsafe, because I predicted this. So did Bo Dietl. So did everybody else did. So I'm done. I'm done. And believe me, if I have to do this type of video again, you know I'm going to do it. Don't be scared, Zohran, because we're coming. We're going to verbally attack you as much as we need you. So I'm done. That's it.